Hello, everybody. It's the Carl experience again. I'm not sure which number I'm on, if I'm in fact following that construct of societal learning. Okay, today we're going to be talking about how do I word this? I don't want to seem unobtrusive. I don't want to seem obscutive. I want to talk. I want to talk a little bit about the violence against the Asian American community. I was going to make a video the day before yesterday and then yesterday, and I took time out tonight so that I could expound upon this. We're going to be covering the violence against Asians. I'm going to cover the Cardi B and the WAP incident on the award show because some things just appeared overnight, and then I would like to touch base on what was it? Shit. On the illegal immigrant overflow problem that we're having. So I need to write that down. Let me get a pen right here. Just in case you want to know, it's a Devon James pin. They represented me during my car wreck, so I kind of enjoyed them. And yes, I ordered this. I got this the day before St. Patrick's Day and had it sized to my head because before it was sized, I could literally fit my thumbs all up in the sides. It was fitted to my head. Now, even if the wind blows really strong, it doesn't do anything. I go to Hatman Jack's. Awesome place. I always get kick-ass customer service there, and it's nice to be able to go somewhere and not always look for the largest sizes they have and not find anything big enough for your head. So, yeah. Write this down. Okay, I gotta get another pen apparently. Let's see here. Oh. Green. Okay. Okay, now I've got those three topics. This is the entire podcast, along with a loving, very warm hearted thank you to Hemp Havana. I've been using Hemp Havana for, I don't know, maybe a week or so now, on and off, and when I apply it, it goes on. Sometimes I wash the residue off my hands, but I'm not in any more pain. I mean, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm not getting paid to say that. I've tried hemp. I was thinking, okay, we spend $5. If it's shit, we throw it away. I had some ankle pain. I had some ankle and other joint pains in the past week or two. I used it, and 5 minutes later, I don't have any pain there anymore. And I've got a pretty high tolerance for pain, so when I tell you it eliminates pain, I've been telling everybody I meet, is go get him Vana. And basically, it's crushed hemp seeds. The oil, apparently, it's the oil extracted from that and turned into this gooey stuff that you rub on. It's really good. I think it falls under the CBD oil thing or something, but either way, I will promote it. They're not gonna. They may demonetize me for it, but it's actually really good. I really enjoyed the pain relief from it. It's the only reason I'm saying. I noticed it worked right away, and I feel the need to. I feel the obligatory need to share this uh, pain alleviating discovery. But anyway, now since I'm done with the unpaid advertisement, um, now to get down to the serious business. And I've been turning on the TV and noticing that since February, for some god awful reason that I don't understand at all, Apparently, normal, everyday, extremist Americans are now taking out their frustration on Asian Americans. This disturbs me. This bother. I wanted to go in the. I wanted to start crying and throw up. I wanted to do that. I didn't, but I wanted to. I'm like, I see Asian people all the time. I don't care. They're there, just like I am. I don't go whooping their ass just because they're Asian. Hell, it's like them whooping my ass because I'm uh, American or some crap, white trash jeans and all that. But anyway, I started listening, and then there was that spa shooting or massage parlor shooting, and I want to say without equivocation, there is no excuse for violence like this. It's not some company trying to take them out. It apparently seems to be extremism popping its ugly head up, just like it was before all this crap happened. And I'm not going to solely place it on Donald Trump, but Donald Trump propagated the Kung flu, the China flu, all these nicknames for Corona. Is it really that hard to say coronavirus or COVID-19? Is it really that hard to say? Because you're going to call something by its name, call it by its proper damn name. Coronavirus or COVID-19. Don't call it the Kung flu or the China virus because you're too lazy to enunciate that. I can't put all the blame on Trump on that one, as much as I'd love to, because I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy either, so don't try wailing it the other way. But the extremism is influenced by him, and he says it, they think it's okay, and then they do what they feel they need to do. Now, I'm not going to go saying that all Republicans are bad. Far from it. I know plenty of Republicans who were sickened physically by this. I know Democrats who were physically sickened by this. I myself was sickened by this. It's not only unethical and immoral, but what's the point of trying to beat the crap out of innocent people who've done nothing simply because you identify them as being from China or Japan or Asia? That's idiotic thinking at its best. Now, I denounce that sort of racist violence, and I know there are some people, well, it's not racist. Really? Really? Okay. I abhor this kind of violence. I think it has no place in the American society. There are times when there are times where I can see it needing to become violent. You're beating up old Asian people because you're pissed off about coronavirus? What in the fuck are you thinking? Did your brain fly out your butthole when you got the case of the shits because you went out and bought a bunch of toilet paper? Now, let's get all this crap out of here. Trump made light of the COVID-19 situation, and he did some things that were highly inappropriate, very highly inappropriate, okay? And from the logic standpoint, just from a science standpoint, here's what you should really absorb. COVID-19 is real. Coronavirus is a real threat. It's not nearly the threat that the press builds it up to be. 1,900 people died today. Not mentioning the fact that all of them are over 70 years old and have highly compromised immune systems. And they're staying in the hospital for like 9 months, if not dying from it. There's a reason they're dying from it, which I covered in my last podcast too. There's a reason they're dying from it. It's designed to kill the old people. Now, having said that, this science of the mask thing that Dr. Fauci is pushing, I'm not going to endorse that because, scientifically speaking, when I did the episode on the masks and the PPE, I wasn't lying. I did the research. I actually went through and found the thickness of the holes, the width of the hole. I mean, this wearing a mask to prevent coronavirus is like getting two wooden porch lattices, putting them together, and then in the middle, putting like a double layer of chicken wire. Can a mosquito or a fly still get through there? Hell yes, it can. So what's the effectiveness of wearing the mask? To quell the baby boomers. This whole fucking thing was created by this whole situation of panic was created for the baby boomers by the baby boomer news media because they don't want to die. They want to be able to spend their money. They want to be able to enjoy their retirement. Okay, enjoy retirement. You spent 40, 50 years not being at home. Stay the fuck home. Well, now we live on a fixed income. Well, if your generation hadn't messed up so bad, we wouldn't have such a bad deal. And that also goes to the greatest generation too. The greatest generation did just as bad a job because they raised the baby boomers and apparently didn't do exactly the best job there was. Now back to the points. The fact that Trump marginalized the Asian American community and people from Asiatic lands means that other people felt it was all right. Apparently, over a relatively short period of time, to obfuscate their freedoms, to defame them, to disgrace them for nothing they did. They didn't. These people that are being attacked didn't. I mean, other than the massage parlor, maybe giving happy endings or something. What did they do wrong? Because some excuse me, because some white kid who felt like he was underprivileged and obviously something. But it's a trend. It's a noticeable, viable trend. This is just like when I was telling everybody, you don't need to wear a mask. They're going to tell you need to wear one, but you don't need to wear one. I already did the science behind the mask. The science and what Dr. Fauci are saying, two radically different things. Now, you take coronavirus and Asian people. They have nothing to do with one another. Since they live here, they're separate entities. It's disparaging. It makes me want to throw up, and it makes me want to fucking hit somebody upside the goddamn head with a fucking cast iron skillet the size of Cincinnati, and as thick as 2 pound, as thick as 2 or 3 inches. Just beat the shit out of them. And then I saw a post yesterday where racism posed its ugly head up on some meme that I read. It was a Facebook post about some white chick with her white trash boyfriend talking about how, well, slavery wasn't really slavery. Blah, blah, blah. Lincoln should have been assassinated before he could free the slaves. No wonder they're like monkeys because they act like... That is just fucking stupid. I have black friends. In fact, I have a gay black friend. Need to get in contact with his ass more, but he has substance abuse issues and personality issues, which have kept him from being a normalized person. I think he's battling something in his brain, like long term. But I don't practice racism. If you ask my kids, you can ask my wife. About the only thing I'm really against is illegal immigration from, say, Mexico, but that's workforce related. Now, I'm going to go on record as I probably said this. I've said it at least once. I'm going to say it again. We're not going to do the racist thing. We're not. I'm not going to abide a racist. I think that anybody who's espousing racist rhetoric should be reschooled on how the fuck to be a human being. I mean, if you're black, white, Asian, purple, pink polka dotted, I don't care. you choose to be gay, trans, whatever. That's how you are, or how you choose to be. If you choose to be trans, though, you really should. If you're choosing to be trans, though, that's a whole other argument of stupid. But here is the thing: I don't appreciate when they say, "Well, white people are attacking Asian people." I ain't hit nobody. If I'd have hit them, they'd have known about it. I don't like. Back in my youth, I may have liked violence, but now we're getting all this Asian violence, or this violence aimed directly at the Asian community. I've never actually hit, that I know of, I've never actually hit an Asian person. I've wrestled with one. He, some cocky young kid, and I happen to have more experience than him, and I put him in a hurt locker, and we shook hands afterwards for having a good sparring session. But that's as far as that went. Now that we're 16, what is it, 16? Yeah, 16 minutes in. Okay. Train of thought now, because we're going to leave the race card out and move on to the next subject, which is Cardi B and the WAP incident. Cardi B went on an award show and did a skit or a number with another female artist, and it was for the song "WAP" or "Wet Ass Pussy," and at least that's what I've been told. I've only read about this, people. I didn't watch it because when I found out Cardi B was going to be a headliner, fuck it, I'm not watching it. I don't like Cardi B. Cardi B's not my cup of tea. Fuck them. I don't care. But here's the thing. All of conservative America, not just the Democrats, not just the Republicans, not just whoever, damn near every conservative in the United States chimed up saying, that's wrong. It's supposed to be family-oriented entertainment. Then I've been reading about this vitriolic bullshit for a few days, I think, maybe a week. I think it's happened last weekend. But I actually read something today that completely made me laugh at all the conservative junkets, because right now Candace Owens has this fabricated beef with Cardi B. Literally, it is fabricated. Candace Owens is giving airtime to this story. And this, I don't remember how old Candace Owens is, but I believe she's either at the end of the millennial scale or at the beginning of the Generation Z scale. I'm not sure which one. And I don't want to look it up right now, okay? But here's the issue. Candace Owens is saying there's something wrong with America, that this crap's allowed to happen. Here's my counter argument. Maybe it's not something wrong with America. Maybe it's wrong with you. You're expecting a wholesome family. You're expecting a family wholesome show. It's not the Waltons anymore. We're not living in Little House on the Prairie. If you watch an award show, like, I stopped watching a lot of the award shows, especially the music award shows, after the paparazzi stunt with Lady Gaga hanging from the ceiling, cover herself in blood, singing Paparazzi. That killed a lot of it for me, because it's like, okay, we're going to these extremes now, and it seems like every entertainer has to have their own has to have their own stance on certain issues, but I could give a shit less about their stance. I really don't give a fuck. You're there to sound good while you're making music. When you're on stage, you're there to look good and sound good. What you do in your personal life, I give a fuck less most of the time. I pay attention to, like, charities that are centered around deafness and literacy, shit that actually makes a difference in the world. I try to use music as an educational tool. Yeah, I got my oldest into alternative rock and shit like that, and she now has her own subset music. Sorry, this beer's giving me a little bit of gas. But yeah, I had this going on, and Cardi B said posted something. I read it. I read it, and then photographed it, and it said the equivalent to this reporter's this story wrote out that she doesn't let her own child, who's apparently cultured with a K, isn't allowed to watch the music video or listen to WAP. When asked why, because when it comes to music, when it comes to what I do, when it comes to what I do musically, I'm very kinky. I'm very sexual, and I do adult things. With my daughter around, I don't. She's okay listening to all the freaky weird shit. She's okay doing all that crap, but she keeps her daughter from it. And when everybody's like, "Why don't you do? Why won't you hold her back? Aren't you doing this for all children?" I can tell you from experience that night. I know what my daughter was doing. My 7-year-old daughter was in her damn bedroom watching what was it, Veggie Tales? That's what she was doing. We were watching a movie because we got nothing was on. We didn't want to watch the award shows. But she did point out. This pinpoint, this pen theft, if you will, this this culvert, if you will, with her answer being what I do is entertainment for adults, not children. And she also said that the parents need to raise their kids, not let entertainers raise their kids. I have to agree with her. And despite her lascivious and almost gay pornographic or lesbianic pornographic stunt on the award show, I haven't watched it. Don't ask. I couldn't tell you. Could tell me, but I'd probably prefer you not to tell me. But her response in perpetuity to these all this vitriol, her response to it was so poignant and intelligent that she bypasses Candace Owens' objection by a mile. If you like Candace Owens, great, but not the entire world has to listen to you and your espoused beliefs. You're saying that you want the nation to be more conservative. Conservatism isn't being wiped out. We're steadily being more progressive. There are way too many parents who let celebrities raise their children. That's why I can go up to almost anybody in this neighborhood, except for like 5 of them. But I can go up to almost any set of kids in this neighborhood and ask them what are the top 5 R&B or rap songs, and they could probably tell me what the songs are, who the people are that sing them, and tell me when the song came out. They could probably tell me the whole fucking history of the person. And I don't blame them. And I've also talked to a couple of kids around the neighborhood, and several of them are like, well, mom's always on the phone, clickety click, and, she's always doing something on her phone. So the kids aren't being watched. The parents are being delinquent in the raising of their children. So Cardi manages to get herself released from responsibility for the performance, because if you're honestly watching some of these raunchy ass people who are bad enough in their music videos get on stage and be even raunchier, I gotta blame you for watching it. If you want anything close to a wholesome family thing, you better watch the ACAs, I think it is. And I didn't even like those. I liked some of it. I liked Charlie Pride's last appearance on television. That was awesome. But I saw a couple of women who, well, I just gave birth 9 months ago, and yet she's in a fucking scarf. I can damn near see all of her boobs. And she's a mom. She's not only a mom, she's a married mother. And yet she's using her body to sell more albums. I just gave birth, 9 months ago I gave birth, and I'm married, but I'm gonna let you see my tits here. How's that wholesome? Some of these people who are rising stars are using sex to sell things. If you're gonna be mad at everything. Me, I'm interested in the music. I prefer them to be dressed like they are in the music videos or whatever, because they just seem a little bit cooler and seem more real. Seeing everybody dressed up in suit and ties all the time, and well, I'd like to thank God and my mom and dad and my producer and blah blah blah. Just thank everybody. Hey, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. I hope we can do this again. And walk the fuck off. How hard is that to do? Don't gotta thank 3,000 other people. Shit. Now, entertaining is one thing, and my friend Sprout, he gets the whole thing. It's entertainment. It's not child entertainment. My youngest is usually watching a movie at 7 p.m. She's watching Hercules or Raya and the Last Dragon, or any number of movies for her that we have. We have a lot of movies. We also have American Tail 1 and 2. That's her entertainment. She enjoys that. We're starting to get her more into the live action stuff gradually. She can watch. She doesn't like The Princess Bride, but she has to watch it when we watch it. But yeah, entertainment is subjective, and people blowing up like the Daily Wire. All of a sudden, the Daily Wire is well, we need to pay attention to Daily Wire because somebody bothered calling the Daily Wire a libertarian outlet. I've listened to some of the podcasts. I've listened to some of the stuff that comes out of there. I don't see it as being. I don't see it as being libertarian. I see a lot of the crap coming out of the Daily Wire as being a conservative Republican echo chamber. That's what I see it as. That's what I get it. I try to eliminate a lot of stuff. I now glance at the Ben Shapiro show because he's best taken in small doses. I found out, and it's not that I'm anti-conservative. It's more that everything has its time. But if true dyed-in-the-wool conservatives who are afraid of change if they were forced to change to change as much as they resist change, they wouldn't have any pulpit to stand on and preach at anybody because nobody would be listening. And I'm not saying conservatism is bad. I think liberal or progressivism and conservatism need to share a fine balance. But with Cardi B, the entire goddamn conservative nation went the fuck off and became its own echo chamber of, well, this should be shown on TV. Blah, 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 blah. That's progress. I'm not going to let my daughter watch Cardi B and claim that it's empowering women. It's not. It's fucking entertainment. She does this to sell fucking records and get money. People who watch, apparently when Candace Owens did her little diatribe about her, the views on Cardi B's YouTube video shot up 145,000, and that was in the first day alone. Apparently it's somewhere like 4 or 5 million now. She is rocking that shit. Candace Owens defaming her and saying all this nasty shit only makes Cardi B richer. Why would I fucking add to the gaslighting? Candace Owens is saying something's wrong with this country. By you saying something's wrong with the country and informing people and telling them to go watch it. You're fucking making Cardi B money. You're making her richer by doing it. Back in my day, it's going to sound stupid. Back in my day, if you didn't want to, if you didn't want to see anybody, if you didn't want to see a certain performer anymore, you'd change the channel for 2.5 damn minutes. If you're watching a program and you knew about how long the interview was going to be, you'd skip to another channel for just that amount of time, then switch back, and boom. You would effectively, societally, cancel them out because they in fact had a shit act. And while you may call that cancel culture, the generations before now, before Generation Z, we didn't have to actively go shit all over somebody. It was literally, don't go. It's not worth it. They're telling shitty jokes. All they're doing is spitting vitriol. I mean, you ignoring them and ignoring them hard and telling everybody else to typically tended to get them canceled. Shows, movies, the like. If you got enough people to ignore it, or like if a movie came out that was highly offensive, you just didn't go see it. One whole theater would go see it, and then they'd have like 1 day's worth of theater goers, and after that weekend, it was dead. And in several movies' cases, they would get a huge, huge audience the first day. After that first set of showings, word to go out that the movie stank, and I'm talking stank. You know what happened to that movie? It disappeared in less than 6 weeks. That's a society in which we should live. Not this one where, well, you're offending me and you need to just knock it out. No. If you get offended, don't watch it. If it really starts offending you, and if it's a stand-up comedian, expect to be offended. This new wave of comedians that I've been watching are fucking. Oh, I want to choke slam them. Not to borrow a wrestling term, but yeah. Right now, I have watched quite a few new comedians. They're supposed to be fall down funny. You know, I've even followed a few of the comedians that Ben Shapiro's mentioned, or I've watched them, or Candace Owens, or any of these echo chamberists. I watch the people they recommend and don't recommend, and typically neither one is funny. They find a certain degree of funniness in stale kinds of comedy because it's all they like. And like there was one lesbian autistic comedian who hasn't left Australia. She only performs in Australia. She is boring. Like I could fall asleep listening to her try to fucking perform her stand-up routine. But then again, I grew up with, Sam Kinison, Ronnie Dangerfield, George Carlin, what the fuck is his name? Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder, being huge confidence, having huge confidence in themselves, and they were great comedians and they knew what to do. George Carlin probably was the best one. He was the most thoughtful, articulate, wordsmithed person, and he was a killer at it. He really was a killer. But yeah, Sam Kinison, Jim Carrey, sprinkling a Jamie Foxx in there back in his younger days. But yeah, there's all these comedians that could be offensive. They could be racially offensive. Black people could talk about us white people. Hell, look at Chris Rock. You go through all these comedians who used race and misogyny and bigamy and sexism. They were funny. Some of them still are funny. Not all of them, but some of them still are funny. They hold up. But that's what we're going with society right now. Is, well, if you've got the conservatives who like a certain kind of comedian, and then you've got Generation Z who likes to cancel everything that offends them. If it makes them feel uncomfortable, then they can cancel it out. No, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, wait. Watch the entire thing and then judge it based on that. I like what George Carlin says, or how he said it, about dragging people, getting people to the line, getting them to come across it, or taking them across it, and in the end, be glad they went with him across that line. If it makes you uncomfortable, wait till the end. Then see how you feel then. If you're still not entertained, then tell your friends not to go. Don't go again. He's not going to make money if you keep going to it and going to it and going to it just to see if he slips up. You're paying him to keep talking. But Cardi B, I didn't expect her to have that fucking kind of response. That was beyond fucking incredible, fucking otherworldly response to something she could have train wrecked that fucking response and ended up looking like a shithead or like a total hoe. But she gave such a classy response, and she's responsible for the music she makes, but she makes the music to entertain. She makes it to entertain adults. She makes the music to entertain adults who want to hear that shit or see that shit. If you're letting your kids listen to it, and your kids are under 18, guess whose fault that is? Yours. Now, while my daughter listens to some rather dark shit, in my opinion, sometimes, or some rather dumb shit, I can't really bitch too much about her taste in music because a lot of her bands sound like the bands I grew her up on. You know, the bands I grew up on. Nirvana, a little bit of Slipknot, Disturbed, Queen, Metallica. They grew up with a bunch of shit. They even had a smattering of classical like Chubby Checker. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. I found my thrill on Strawberry Hill. I know one of you's probably shouting the name of the artist, the name of the singer. But yeah, I grew my kids up on several different kinds of music. They knew who all the most of the classics were, even if they don't remember it. And with that, for all of you who don't agree with me, you're allowed to disagree with me. But here's the beautiful part. I'm not wrong. I just have a different opinion. And my opinion is based on intellectual insight. Now, when I ran across her response to Candace Owens and everybody else blowing up on her, her response had so much poise to it and so much intelligence. It worked on like multiple levels. It wasn't just a single plain answer. It was a multi-tiered response set in the fewest words possible. And that's what I loved about it. It covered her ass from being an indecent artist. Come on, Madonna was indecent. And then she pulls this shit in the award show. I don't see the causal difference. Well, because now a lot of people are pissed off because two women acted like they were doing profane and pornographic things on the stage. Blame Lady Gaga. Don't like Lady Gaga? Neither do I. I don't enjoy her. I enjoy her music, some of it, but not all of it. I enjoy like maybe 6 songs in her entire discography. But that's the difference. She gave such a finely tuned, intelligent, lucid response to that I couldn't help but enjoy her response. So all those people who said, "Well, it's gonna poison America," no. People not raising their fucking kids is what's going to poison America because you're not teaching your kids right from wrong. You're letting celebrities do that on those shows. If they're watching the shows and they're following that, you've failed as a parent if that's all they have. Now, next up, now that we're at the 39-minute mark, next up is the Mexican immigrant problem. Now, as some of you are mildly aware of, there is a huge immigrant population lined up outside the gate. Lined up outside the gates of the United States waiting to get in. A lot of these are children. Some of them are teens. And I did some research last night, and here's some stunning stuff, okay? Now, the average minimum wage in Mexico is between, I think, $2.32 and $2.49. And that's the minimum wage there. It's not $7.25. It's like $2.50 or something shit like that. It's way below what ours is. Some websites will tell you it's $3.50. It's really fucking low. It's like a third of what we make, if not a fourth of what we make here. Having said that, children are being boosted here to escape the drug cartels. The drug cartels and poor job ratios, I guess you'd call it. Teenagers are coming across, and when asked why they're coming over, there are no jobs. Now, what they don't mean is they don't mean there are no jobs. There's no jobs worth having. Because I went ahead and looked online, and I looked up places to live, cheapest places to live in Mexico, and the most economically friendly version of anything put a 1-bedroom apartment at right about, what is it, $200 or so? $250? When you're making $2.50 an hour, $2.50 an hour, that takes a long ass time. You have to work serious fucking hours to afford that, let alone the bills, let alone food. And if you have kids, you're screwed. You have to work your ass off to make that. Now, for those of you who are like me, are like, why don't they fight the government and the cartels and boost everything up? Here's the problem as I see it with the job situation and the labor situation in Mexico. People just want to live in peace. They just want peace to be a thing. They want it to exist and fucking wipe out everything. The problem, as we Americans know it to be, literally, freedom ain't free. You have to fight for freedom. We had to fight to be free from the tyranny of the British government. We had to fight to end slavery. We had to fight. Women had to fight to get their right to vote. Blacks had to fight for the civil rights and racism, against racism. Gays had to fight to get gay rights. Everybody has to fight to get their freedom. And you've got all these people, you've got these millions of people who just say, well, I just want to live in peace. You can't live in peace if nobody's fought for it. If you're in a cartel and you're fighting, that's not fighting for peace. It's fighting for some other asshole to be rich instead of you. Now, here's a suggestion. Make them go. I would say make them go back home and fight for their country. If they say they really didn't want to leave, but there's no money to be made, talk to your employers. See who's paying them. Because I guarantee you, the cartels of the government is the one skyping money from the people. And personally, I think I could think the people of Mexico need to reunite and fucking bring both down, rebuild their government a better way. Do away with all the corruption. Hell, we could do that here in America. We just have to pass legislation that limits terms for Congress. That whole swamp bullshit would disappear in a heartbeat. You'd have people who've been trying to work their way up for 3 decades finally out of a job. The people who have been in power for 40 years, gone. Some of the most supposedly powerful politicians, gone. Probably living off of the money they made off their 40-year career, making, what, $100,000 or whatever the fuck it is per year? Let alone if they work another job being a lawyer or some shit. Now, having said all this, where am I at here? I'm trying to check the time on my clock. Okay, 45 minutes. Okay, I've bored you enough with all this crap. Just to let you know what's up, my daughter, my oldest daughter, oldest biological daughter, Brianna, gave me a few books to read, but I have to finish the two sets I'm on now. Right now, I have literally, see that bookmarker's barely in there. I am right now reading Hannibal, and I've got plenty of pictures to still hang, but after Hannibal, I'm going to be reading Inferno by Dan Brown, and then Origin by Dan Brown. I don't want anybody to give me any hints about what's going on. I want to read the books. I want to feel them. And then there's the two books my daughter gave me, which is, what are they? The Pact and Freakonomics. I'm going to start reading that. I'm going to start reading those probably after I get done with Hannibal and Dan Brown. Then after I get done with those two, I've got to hit up the J.K. Rowling book I've had for like a year. I've had a J.K. Rowling book for that long and haven't read it because I've gotten so tired of reading. Because there was like, oh, you're not a very good reader. And, I'm a genius level reader. The problem is there's a lot of books that don't interest me. A lot of books that just flat out, like Stephen King. I get bored with Stephen King books because, like, I read The Langoliers way back before high school. And honestly, that was like watching cow shit dry. The two best novels, in my opinion, is The Green Mile coming in at number 2, because Green Mile was done in vignette books. It was done in smaller series, like really tiny books, and that was when I was in high school. Then there is Rose Matter. I love that book. Hell, I have the soft and hard copies of Rose Matter. That book is just another level. The violence at the end totally pays off and rounds out the entire story. I thought about getting Dune, but I don't want to read the Dune books all over again. I can't even remember where I stopped. I think I read all the Dune books. It's been like 20 years since I read them. I'd read Starship Troopers, but I don't want to read that again. I've read it like 4 times. But I gave my daughter 2 books to read. One is Letters from the Happy Hooker by Xavier Hollander. That should be an interesting read. You probably don't know who or what the hell that book is or about, but. And then there was I bought her a copy of Origin by Dan Brown because she didn't have it, and I've had mine for a while. I haven't read it, but I bought her a different copy. So now she's got that. When I read it, we'll talk about it. But now I'm on the hunt for a new book. I'm about to start up. Another business with another friend of mine, and I'm also woodworking. I gotta get back to that. I put it off for like a week because I had kids in the house. Now that Monkey has gone away for spring break, I've got to whip out my newly acquired circular saw and my jigsaw. And when I get done with that project, I will announce it on this channel, on my program, because I'm allowed to fucking prostitute my products on my own channel because I make them out of literally just scratch material. But yeah, you guys have a great night. I would say stop listening to the echo chambers a little more. I haven't been paying attention to the echo chambers as much. I've been watching stupid YouTube videos like athletes getting wrecked, athletes cheating, newscasters flubbing up on air. Yeah, just dumb shit, and watching movies. I mainly watch the news for the weather, and on occasion I'll watch it for some of the news stories. We usually watch the 10 o'clock news 4 days out of the week in this house, and that's about it. Well, we watch the noon news for the weather and for local news, but as far as national news, we just leave that shit. We already know what's going to happen. I've already elaborated to all my friends here what's going to happen, and I'm normally right. So y'all have fun. Oh, we got an SUV. Want to let y'all know that we now have a car. We bought it with the stimulus money, and we got a few other things done. The hat. I really, really hope you guys take it easy and enjoy life. We're almost done with this mask bullshit. We're almost there. And whenever somebody tells me, well, Dr. Fauci's telling you what he fucking wants to tell you, period. Grow a brainstem, do the research, do the shit you're supposed to do. Be fucking intelligent. Read some shit. And be safe, be kind to each other, at least a little bit. And the next time I do this, I'm not sure when it's going to be. It may be tomorrow, it may be a week from now. Who fucking knows? I don't know. But I do have something rather funny if I still know it's in the living room. I got a big ass paddle. And I got it. I'm gonna turn this $7 paddle, which looks like a boat oar or a canoe paddle. I'm gonna turn that $7 bit hopefully into like $40. So wish me luck. You fuckers stay happy and peace out. Aaron go brav for St. Patrick's Day. And you guys have a great one. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys will listen on further. Peace out.